Hi everyone, it's Eileen from Now There's a Crafty Idea, and I'm back with the second part of our quilted junk journal with the Rose Elegance digital pack. So as you can see, I finished sewing around the cover. The sewing machine had a little bit of a mishap. Like I've said in previous video, she's quite old. But the stitching is still quite strong, so I'm not going to bother to unpick it and do it again, because it looks good anyway. And I do kind of like this. I just sometimes do this on purpose when I'm going around my journaling cards, so it just adds, as far as I'm concerned, it adds to the character. So the doily, I sewed the doily on, and then obviously when I put the signature in, it'll keep the rest of the doily in place, so that's all nice and secure. And then obviously I did sew the lace onto the top of our extra bit of fabric to make a pocket, and that's a pocket in the front and a pocket in the back. And then we do have this lovely decorative overhang, but that was part of the quilt. I didn't want to lose that. Now the cover is quite a bit bigger than I thought it was going to turn out, but that's going to be fine because this is going to be a chunky monkey, so it's going to give plenty of room to cover anything that's going to be sticking out from the top, the bottom or the sides of our journal. And that's just great, because you know, you don't want things getting flattened. This one won't stand up on a shelf. I mean, you could, if you tuck that under like that, you could try and stand it up, but what I would suggest, you know, keeping these ones lying flat. You know, it doesn't take up that much room. So yeah, so I did sew the signature in. The reason being, when I went to get my clips to do the tutorial, I realised that my clips were too small and that they wouldn't work, so I had to freehand it. Yeah, it was interesting, but I managed to get it in, and I've just tied a nice little bow in the middle. I didn't want to put anything on there. As I've said before, it's, you know, when you get this, whoever gets this journal, it's a chance for you to personalize it if you want to put charms or beads or whatever you want to put on the strings, or you can just leave them like that. I quite like it. And I did use this lovely cream bookbinding string, which is gorgeous, and it really matches the feel of it. So what I've done, I did an extra couple of pages. I was sorting through some things, looking for some nice bits of collage paper, and I found this. Now, isn't that gorgeous? It's a coffee dyed decorative piece of card, but it's a very thin card, and it's just plain on that side, apart from, you can see the coffee dyeing marks. But look at the colours. Doesn't it match perfectly with the colours of the kit? I think it looks perfect with it. So I popped that in, and then the other thing I popped in was, if I can find it now, it's back here somewhere. No, I've gone past it. Okay, where are you? It was a book that I found, and it was called England is a Garden. And the inside, there it is, the inside cover of it was just so beautiful, and it's roses, and I thought that goes with the Rose Elegance kit, and the colours again are perfectly matched to the kit, so I just couldn't resist that one. And on the other side, it's got roses there, and then on this side it's got England is a Garden, which was the name of the book, but then on this side it's just plain, so it's good journaling space. So that's how far we've gotten so far. So what I wanted to do today was, before I start popping things in, I thought, why don't we do one of the collage rules that seem to be everywhere at the minute. I love doing them. I love watching Gail doing them. Gail Augustinelli, she does, you know, I just love watching her work. So yeah, so I've got some paper. Now I wanted to use a larger book. Excuse me while I just get me book. There we go. The reason being is I want it bigger than my pages, because the longest piece I'm going to be cutting off this will be for a belly band. So if I've got that slightly bigger, that's great, because that means that I can trim it down to exactly the size I need, depending on which page I pop it on, because you know, not all the pages are the same. So also, you know, you're just going to get more out of it, aren't you? So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start off with our pages. We'll start off with 2, because I thought this would be a great way of using bits from the kit and some extra bits of stuff There we go. And it'll be a great way for us to make a load of collage journaling cards and tags at the same time. So this is the paper from the kit. Now this is the collage paper. This is the little extra bit that I put in so that you can use all the different patterns and things that I've used in the kit. As you can see, there's various ones. So I'm going to use that, but I'm going to show you what I've been sorting out. I found some coffee dyed paper, which I love this, and it's got little roses on, and that was just sitting in my scrap, so I've got that too, and the colours are quite good as well. Then when I was cutting up the quilt, I ended up with little bits of fabric, and I thought, I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to use them to collage with, and they're going to be part of my collage. So some of it's going to be fabric, which is great. Even these pieces, I know, I'm hopeless, but this was such a precious, beautiful quilt. I couldn't bear to throw even the smallest pieces away. And when they're in the collage, they're going to look great. So yeah. And then this is a piece from another kit. It's an ephemera piece. I can't quite remember the name. It's a tea time kit. But what I'll do is I'll add the link below to this kit, because I've used it. Well, I've got it on the go. I've got 2 journals on the go with it, and it's a lovely kit. But this ephemera I thought would work well because of the roses, and maybe a couple of the labels I might use as well. So I will put a link down to that. And then I've just printed out a couple more pieces. That's from the Old Curiosity shop. I'll put a link down to them as well. And then these are just some bits of pieces that I was using when I was making the kit, and I was printing stuff out to see what it would look like. And these are just the bits that, you know, I didn't need anymore, so I'm going to use them in the collage. Never throw anything away. And I have again some extra bits from the kit when I was making it. And this is another kit I've been working on. I haven't quite finished it yet. It's a masquerade kit, but I thought that the colours went really well. So these are the bits that I've been printing out just to check on them and that. And I've been, you know, any kind of patterned papers that you've got lying around, just get them all together. And whatever you've got lying around, whatever there is. I've got some book pages, and I've got some tickets and some more bits of ephemera. Yeah, so I'm just going to use a little bit of everything and see how far we get. I might leave that separate because I want to cut them round. So let's get started. So let's just make our first hair, because I want this part here. There we go, and that should secure our pages. So here we go. These are a really great idea for if you want to mass make things, or if you're doing a project like this one and you just decide that you need several tags and cards. This is a great way of keeping continuity with your work, because the collage is going to incorporate the papers that you're working with. So I'm going to pop that to the top, about there. That doesn't look straight. Wait a minute while I just straighten myself up. There we go, that's better. Oh, wrong way. Do you know, it's just been one of those days today. It just has been one of those days. Oh, it seems like everything I've done has just gone wrong. There we go. Okay. Yay! We've got our first piece down. Finally. And it's cockeyed and I don't care. Right, so let's put a few more pieces of this. I do love this piece. There we go. I'm not going to be precious about it, because that's the whole point of doing the collages like this, is to not be precious about where you're putting stuff, because remember, you're going to be cutting this up, so it's going to look so different when you're finished. Just pop that there, and that's just going to give us our continuity, and we're cutting our cards out. Oh, look at that lovely rose. Where shall we put you? Should we put you down here? Yeah. This glue I'm going to change to my other glue, because it's just so soft and it's going everywhere. This one's a much better glue. Oops. There's another journaling card. Doesn't matter about the tear because it's going to get collaged over. There we are. Now then, let's get you going. Oh, that's much better. Not as squishy or sticky. I don't know what's the matter with that other brand. In fact, I think it's a commercial named brand, but it's just so soft. I must have gotten a bum batch. There we go. And then this one, I think we'll put you up here. So I hope everybody's doing well. Strange times at the minute, and lots going on. We had a bit of a sad day the other day. There's not many people about on the streets at the minute because we're all quarantining ourselves, and unfortunately somebody took that as an invitation to break into our car and smash our back window, and there was nothing in there but my husband's favourite jacket and favourite hoodie, which they've took. So, you know, I mean, come on people, there's no need for it. We're all desperate at the minute and trying to keep our heads above water, and bless him, my husband is doing his best. I mean, he's still working, he's still there trying to keep people on the road, especially key workers. You know, he's always offered a discount because he has his own garage. He's always offered a discount to NHS workers because we're grateful for everything they do. And he's working his hardest to keep people on the road to help out. And someone goes and breaks into his car. Well, you know, c'est la vie. It happened. We've got to move on. It's sad, not, well, the whole thing's sad, but the saddest part is he's really funny with his coats and his hoodies, because he finds it hard to find comfortable ones, and unfortunately the two things at the stall was his favourite coat and his favourite hoodie. Oh, bit of a goober there, get that out of the way. So yeah, that was the sadness, but you know, you've got to be upbeat in these times, and I'm not going to let that get me down, and neither is he. He amazes me. He's a wonderful, wonderful person, because he wasn't angry or mad. He didn't lose his temper or get sad or anything like that. He just says, you know what, it's a coat and a jacket. In the grander scheme of things, there's harder things going on at the minute, and people are facing harder realities, so it's nothing. He's a real inspiration. So I'm going to use a little bit of this decorative paper now just to break things up, and then see how this goes. This is slightly harder because it's card, so I'll put extra glue on there and give it a really good press down. And I think I might use some of our fabric. Now this fabric's quite fine, so I don't think I'm going to need to use anything like Fabri-Tac. I think that it'll be fine with the Pritt stick. But if there's a problem with it later on, if it starts coming undone, I can always run the sewing machine around it, just to make sure that it's stuck down. So let's get this on. And this is going to be great because it'll bring in the... I'm not going to put anything there because I might add another piece. It's going to bring in the colours from the cover, which is great. I'm just going to pop it in the middle there because it's misshapen a little bit. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? Oh, it's such gorgeous fabric. Right, let's see, what else do we have? I'm just looking through to see our next piece. I do want to add a little bit of this German paper, so I'm going to do that next. This is so precious. Just get rid of that bottom bit. Right, now, oh yeah, that's going to look great. Let's just get these out of the way. Glue, I'm losing my glue. There we go. But the sun's out now and it's lovely. We saw our first butterfly yesterday, which was great. And the queen bees have been around looking for somewhere to live. And I think we might have at least one in the trees at the back of our garden, which I love because I love bees. And you know, any home you can give them, especially when they're having such a hard time of it at the minute. You know, they're dying out, and if they die out, we die out too. So I always keep little bits of wood, like wood piles and things, because I do have a hedgehog as well, and he lives at the back of my garden. So I always keep extra piles of wood. And you know, don't be too tidy in your gardens, because sometimes the untidy parts is where you get the best wildlife. And I certainly have done that with our hedgehog. He's got a lovely place to live, and now it seems that he's got some neighbours who are the bees. Very nice ticket there. I think I'll pop that on as well. This ephemera as well is from the Old Curiosity shop, and they have some marvellous things. I mean, where's my rule? They have some absolutely wonderful pieces. There we go. And I just bought a couple of their ephemera packs, and honestly I think I've printed them out 20 times, so they're a really, really economical way of getting yourself some ephemera. And you can print them on coffee dyed paper, or like I've done here, just on copy paper. You can print them on decorative paper. Oops, well that didn't work, did it? I've even seen people print them on decorative paper, and they actually, you know, if it's not too highly decorated, it does look very, very good. So there's an idea for you. As long as it fits into your printer, give it a go. You never know. It might turn out to be stunning. Let's get this on. I'm not inking any of this. You could ink every piece if you wanted to. I don't want to do that at the minute, because I'm going to ink everything when it's all done and dusted. Let's see. You can go just there. Perfect. Oh, that looks great. I like that, and it mixes nicely with the nice colours of the kit. Let's use this bit. There we go. Let's see. Excellent. They're so beautiful, these pieces from the Old Curiosity shop. I think they're fantastic. Let's see what else we've got. I've got one of the pages from the kit actually. It missed the edge of the paper, so I kept it out to use for scrapbooking. For collage, sorry. It's all for scrapbooking. Let's see. I'm going to just tear that down there. There we are. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love roses. Let's see. I think I'll add another page now. Let's get this on. Try and line it all up nicely. There we go. I think I need a new glue page actually. So my daughters, they've been in quarantine now for about, I think, is it 3 weeks? 3 weeks since their company closed down and sent everybody home. And they keep saying to me, God, I'm just going stir crazy. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, use this time and create something, or make something, or learn something. So one's learning French, the other one's learning Spanish. And my eldest daughter, The eldest daughter's just got all of our journals out because she's an avid journaler. So she says, Mum, I'm going to go through all my old journals and see where I was 10 years ago. And she's been sitting reading them this morning and saying, geez, how did you ever put up with me when I was a teenager? It's like, you know, we've all been there, done that. Yeah, yeah. Don't everybody yet. Oh, we all went through that stage, didn't we? Where the world didn't understand us. So yeah, that's been quite fun. And then my sister-in-law, she got out all of our old photographs, family photos. It's been years since we just sat down and looked through all of our old family photographs. And she's also got some videos, especially of the girls when they were little. You forget what they were like when they were little, and so we've been watching them, and it's adorable. It's great. I just keep looking at them saying, what happened? Oh, I'm so proud of my two girls. Such great girls they are. They do so much to help us. Apart from wash up, that's the one thing they struggle with. I know what it is about washing up. It's just one of them things that they refuse to do. So yeah. And then of course we're all worried about poor Boris Johnson. He's been in intensive care, I think, for 2 days now. So everybody's a little bit, hope he's alright. Oh, that's too close. Let's pop that there. Need a new glue page, I think. Yeah, I hope he gets back on his feet. I don't always agree with him and his party, but they've done us good during this COVID, that's for sure. Right, now let's see, let's find something different. See what other lovelies we've got. How about this one? This one's gorgeous. I do like this one. So let's pull this apart. I can't wait till I get this kit finished. It's going to be lovely. I'm just trying to sort out what's going on with the pages, and then I'm going to start on the ephemera for it. But it is a gorgeous kit, so I'm itching to get onto it. I love masquerade balls, and so I thought, I found these beautiful paintings. I can't remember the name of the artist. I will eventually remember it, but yeah, so he did these beautiful masquerade ladies, and when I saw them I was like, yeah, definitely going to have a bit of that, because they're gorgeous, and I've been looking for nice patterns to go with them, because, you know, it's just such a lovely romantic thing, isn't it, the masquerade ball. I know it probably wasn't really like that. I'll just tear that bit off. Need a new glue page. I know it probably wasn't like that, you know, it wasn't like the romantic image that we've got in our heads, but still, you know, it does seem like magical night, you know, with all the candles burning and people in masks and that, and that's just such a great image. Let's go down this corner. So that's the one I'm working on at the minute, and hopefully I'll have that up soon, because who doesn't like a masquerade ball? And plus I'm Harry Potter mad, and I love the Yule ball, so I thought, oh, wouldn't that be great to do something based around a proper ball. That there. I can trim these down along the edges if I need to, so there's no problem there. Right, I think we need a little bit more of this green. Let's get that square edge off. There we go. And I'm going to put extra glue on this because, like I said, it is card, so it's going to be a bit harder to glue. And there we are. Perfect. So let's see what we've got on here. I like them stars. I want to put them on. I love this little bird image. So let's just try and tear that out. There we are. And we'll put him on. Let's put you down here. This little glue is off. There we are. Perfect. Oh, that looks lovely there. I like that. Very nice. So I've got a couple of bits over here to fill. So let me just get, I want to get rid of that harsh line there, so I need to have a flat surface, I think. Oh, come on. That's it. There we go. Get rid of that little bit. Right, there we are. Get rid of these white bits off here as well because we don't want them on there. I love this kind of Baroque pattern, it's so beautiful, and it just gives that extra little bit of, I don't know, decoration. It's just such a nice pattern. I think I'll put it that way. Let's go another page. So how's everybody been? Have you all been crafting? Pop a comment down below and tell me what you've been doing while you've had your spare time, which is such a blessing when you think about it. What's the one thing everybody's always asking for? And boom, we've suddenly got it in abundance. Isn't that great? Ask and you shall receive. I think it's nice to have that time to reflect on things, you know. I mean, yeah, I'm still working as a carer. I'm very lucky I've got a few days off, and I am enjoying the sunshine with me days off. But yeah, it's nice to be given that time just to sit and reassess things and think about things and figure things out, and of course, most important of all, to craft. Because let's face it, that's the most important thing. I mean, seriously, I think I would be going mad if it wasn't for the crafting. It's keeping me sane. So what's everybody been doing? Drop a comment down below and let me know. I'm always interested to hear what everybody's been up to. It's so nice. And my lovely little Poochie, he's such a gorgeous dog, he really is. And he is just over the moon because he's like, wow, everybody's in, you know, all the time. It's great. How many walks? Ooh. He can't walk very far, he is an old dog, but he's over the moon to be sitting in the garden with everybody. He's just sitting there with the biggest grin on his face. He just loves it. He comes out on a morning and he does his little puppy wander around the garden, and then he realises that he's an old man and sits on the patio in the sun. I'm like, yeah, you just settle yourself down there, son. Yeah. He does forget that he's an old dog. I don't think he's ever gotten over. We had a cat. Oh, that's torn again. This paper's a little bit... We had a cat who we'd had a couple of years before him, but they ended up becoming kind of friends. Kind of. I think our Pookie used to remind him every now and then who came first. But bless, we lost our Pooka. It was a couple of years ago now. And you know what, Dex has never really gotten over losing him. He just misses him so. We dare not speak his name, because if you speak his name, he gets up and he's looking about for him and his tail's wagging and he's like, where is he, where is he, is he coming, is he coming? And oh, bless his cotton socks. It's sad because he does miss him so much, and as do we all. But yeah, I'd love to get another cat, but I just think he's too old for a kitten now, you know. I don't think he'd have the patience for it. And to be honest, we're working and it's not, I don't think it's the right time for us to get another animal now. I've loved having my beautiful animals, but bless they do take a lot of looking after, and you know, you've got to commit a lot of time to them. And it's getting to that point when my girls are now talking about moving out and finding their own places, so there's even less people in the house to help look after a pet. And I just think, you know, maybe when we retire we'll get another little cat, a kitten and a puppy together, and they can grow up to be best of friends, and that'll keep us busy. But yeah, that'll happen eventually. I think we need to concentrate at the minute on what we're doing and helping the kids to find their next path, which is, you know, they're desperate to have their own houses. I remember what it feels like when you get to that stage. And as much as you love your family, you know, you need your own space. You need that place that you can call your own, make your own. And so we're in the middle of helping them do that. So yeah, maybe it's in a few years time when we've retired we might get some more pets. But bless him, Dexter, he comes running out the door every morning like he's a pup, and I'm like, Dexter, settle down, calm down, you're not a little pup anymore, son. He forgets. But then isn't that the way it is? In your head you're still 17 until you try and get up off your chair and then you're like, yeah, no. Or at least that's how it feels for me. Yeah, no, I'm not 17 anymore. I remember watching Billy Connolly. I will get there eventually. I remember watching him years ago talking about getting older, and he says, you know, you're getting old when you can't move without making noises. Like, oh, ooh, eef. And my husband was laughing the other day because I'd been sitting in the craft room for a while, and I went to get up, and he was walking past the door, and he was like, what on earth is that noise? I'm like, oh, I'm just stiff. It's like, geez, I thought I was going to come and have to rescue you from something. I was like, yeah, you can just rescue me from getting old, that'd be great. But yeah, comes to us all, I suppose. The privilege denied to many as well. Right, we're getting there. It's starting to fill up nicely. So let's use a few more of these little bits. I want to get all of this sheet on there so that we keep the continuity. There we are. Oh, that looks great. Don't you just love collaging? Especially when you can do it without like having a set plan, because it's just kind of just stick things down. Just doesn't matter where you stick them, just stick them down, and it turns out lovely, you know. And then you always find when you cut these up that the individual pieces, you know, you can't, even though you've sat here and made it, you look at the individual pieces and you're like, wow, I just never thought that would turn out that way. But it does, and it looks gorgeous. It's too small. I'll pop this here. And they actually look so stunning. I think sometimes when I'm collaging an actual card, it's I get a little bit, because you've only got that small space, so you go a little bit precious about where you're putting things and overthink it a bit too much, and then you end up, it doesn't look right, or it's just not the way you imagined it. Whereas doing it this way is great, because well, it's just, you just pop it down anywhere that it needs to be, fill any little space where that needs to be, and when you cut it all up, it does look lovely. Right, we've got this piece here to fill. I want a little piece in there, and this piece in the middle, and here, and a little bit there. So let's see what we've got. I do have these as well. So I've used some of that, and we've used some of that, so I'll keep them ones for another time. Oh, I do have these. Let's have a look. So I've got these, and I've got this. That looks a bit big, because when I cut these up, it's going to be too big. And then let's see, got a little bit of music paper. We could put some music paper on. So what's the little bits we can use? Some music paper down here. Yeah, that'll look great. Perfect. And this will mirror the music paper that I've put inside the journal as well, so it'll all tie back. It doesn't matter if I go over the edge of it. Need a new glue page. I've just got stacks of paper everywhere, so oh boy. You know, I kind of work better in chaos. Some people need to have a well ordered area and space. Me, no, I work better in chaos. Give me chaos. Right, let's see, I might use one of this one. Let's just, so when you're printing your kit out, if you're using this kit or another kit, whichever kit you decide to use, you'll print out bits on card, like these would have been printed on card, but then I always print them on copy paper as well, because when it comes to doing your collages, you've got these beautiful designs which are then going to be mirrored in the book, so that's great. I think I'm running out of glue, and then that just makes, you know, it pulls everything together. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. And look at that, isn't that lovely? Great. And when that gets cut up into a card, you're going to have, yeah, it's just going to look wonderful. And then maybe there's a little bit of music along the top. Let's see, that might just be big enough. Yeah, perfect. It's always worth printing out a little bit extra, because like I say, when you're making your ephemera to go into your journals, having that little bit of extra on printer paper is just, it just leaves you with the options to do these and to you know, get everything sort of corresponded. I think I'll put that there, so that it all looks as though it's meant to be. It's just another way to add continuity. If you don't like continuity, because a lot of people don't, they like it to be very random, then it's not a problem. But I just think it adds to the journal when your little bits of collage are kind of got that kind of continuity. Now, because this is fabric, I can smush this about a little bit more than I would with paper. There we go. And I just like that, the feel that it gives to the journals. But it's, again, it's a personal choice. Now see, we have lost some of that, so I'm going to add that back in even though we've got it in a couple of places. I want to add that back in, just to add that pattern back in, because I do like that pattern. It's one of my favourites. Hence I used it for making the kit. It doesn't matter if you've got odd shapes, just adds to the overall decorative feel of your collage. Yep, that's run out. I have to go back to this horrible pretty stick. Just try and keep it low so it's not getting all smushed everywhere. And pop that there. Perfect. And this tiny little bit. I'm not going to waste any of it. So we've got lots of birds in the garden at the minute, and they're all building nests, and I've been laughing so hard because bless, my sister-in-law lives next door to me, which is great, it's lovely. But when the kids were growing up, it was perfect. We used to look after each other's kids, and we used to all sit and play. We just opened up the 2 back gardens, and there's like, it's a huge space now, which is great. And for the kids that was wonderful, because it meant that they didn't have to go and play out on the street to get fresh air. But yeah, she lives next door to me, and she loves her garden. And she's got lots of baskets all over the garden with if they've got it's kind of like a dried grass stuff that you use as a base for them to stop the soil from falling through. Well, the magpies are clever birds. You know, most of the Corvid family are very clever birds, and they've figured out that it makes perfect nest material. So I've been laughing watching her coming out every morning chasing the magpies away, saying, "You little scoundrels, you're killing off me baskets." Oh, it's just been hilarious. So this fight's been going on with the magpies. Guess who's winning, guys? Magpies have these majestic nests now, looking beautiful. And she's now got gaps in our baskets. So she's not happy. I'm like, but just think of all the baby birds are going to have. It'll look great. It's like, baby birds, I'll kill them if they don't leave me baskets alone. Oh, I just love them. I've got a thing for the Corvid family. I love ravens. Absolutely adore ravens. I was very lucky last year. We went to the county fair, and there's always 1 or 2 guys turn up with these birds of prey that you can go and talk to and have your photo taken with, and sometimes you can hold them if they're trained well. And he had this raven. Oh my word, it was so beautiful. And he says, so he said, don't worry if he doesn't talk to you, because he doesn't talk to anybody. He's just one of these animals that just doesn't, you know, he's very grumpy, and he'll only talk on his terms. So anyway, he popped him on my arm, and oh, what a gorgeous creature he was. I might have already told you this this story, but it's just one of my favourite stories. Oh look, there's another one of them ones. And the whole time I was all holding him, which I think it felt like about 20 minutes, but in reality it was probably about 10 minutes, you know. And me daughters and my husband were taking photos and that, and the whole time I held him, I was talking away to him, and he was talking away back to me. And the fellow was saying to my husband, "Do you know what it is?" He says, "He's a little sod. He won't talk to me." He says he's just so not sociable at all, that when I come to talk to him, he just ignores us. He says, and here she is, a stranger. He's never met her before, and he's talking away to her. I was like, yeah, there you go. It's because he likes me. Oh yeah, he was massive. He was absolutely huge. You think about ravens, and I don't know, I kind of didn't think that they were as big as they are, but yeah, he was huge. He was a lot bigger than most of the owls that the guy had there, and I was like, I honestly didn't think, oops, I didn't think that that they grew that big. Which way have we got this? Like that. I want to just cover up that awkward spot So now let's just get all these glue goobers off here. I tell you, I'm not having luck with glue today, am I? Oh, I'll use some distressing ink to cover that little bit. There we go. Oh, doesn't that look nice? I like that. I will find the set that this comes from, and I'll post a link down below so that you can go find it, because it is a nice, I love tea and roses just go well together. But the whole set is about it's like a tea time set, and I do kind of love that kind of feeling, that kind of tea time feeling. Right, let's use one of these for that last little bit, because I think we've covered everything apart from that last little bit. So let's use this nice rose, because after all it is about roses. Sorry if I'm out of frame. Let's see, does that fit? Oh, that fits perfect. Right, last piece to go on. And what I'll do now is I'm gonna do the same on the back, but with like plain papers and coffee dyed papers, so that it'll have a backing. And then I'll decide in the next video, we'll decide which way we're going to cut it. And because of these fabric pieces, I'm probably going to have to use scissors. So yeah, because if I try to use my guillotine on them, it's just not going to cut, and it'll just ruin the collage. So we'll probably use scissors. But isn't that great? I think I might put a couple more elements like that on it, but I haven't decided yet, so I'll think about that. So in the next one, I'll show you where we are when we've collaged the back, and see how it looks, and then we can start deciding what we want to make out of it. I definitely want a couple of nice big journaling cards to go in the belly bands, because I've got 2 belly bands that I want to put in, and then I definitely want some nice tags out of it, some tall thin ones, and then some quite small chunky ones. So we'll decide all that on the next video. So thank you very much for sitting there while I collage and chatter about anything. Useless information. If you stood it this long, then thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one. So happy crafting and stay safe. Bye.